Everyone, welcome to the first virtual trivb15blue virtual meeting. First off, thank you for all you've done to accommodate the individual meetings the past couple weeks. Those have been super important. We've learned an awful lot. One thing we've certainly learned is that these kids are super excited to build relationships with their teammates this year, and they really are interested in getting better. They're all not super great at defining what better is to them, but they are interested in what that looks like to improve and develop over the course of the season. So thank you for all you've done to accommodate those, and thank you for spending a few minutes watching this video. I'd kind of like to just update you on what's happened in the last week, because believe it or not, we've improved quite a bit. We learned a lot at this past regional tournament, which most of you were at, and we did a lot in practice these past couple days. So I'm glad we were able to practice tonight, despite the weather that came our way. But we've learned a lot, and I want to share with you those tournament goals, kind of what we've learned, and what you can expect essentially from this weekend. So in the last week, we've done a couple things training-wise. At the regional tournament, we tried as best as we could to focus on the process. We learned that that's not always the easiest thing to do, but in that second match, we really did that. I think we pulled together, and that was when we played our best volleyball. And we're going to try to repeat that this weekend and focus more on the process of how we do things, how we treat each other, how we treat our officials, etc. And then since then, Jeremy and I went home that night. We made a huge list of notes of things to work on. So one of the biggest things we've done is kind of what I call patchwork. So patchwork is essentially we look at things that were weaknesses that we got exposed at in a competitive setting. We tried to specifically address those this week. So hopefully, you'll see those transitions. One big thing that we added this week is some new offensive options. We don't add those in typically till about this time of year, just because we need the ball control to be able to, make those plays happen. And I think we're there. I think it's the time to introduce those things, mix it up a little bit, give the attackers some options. So hopefully we'll be able to implement that this weekend and learn how to implement an off-serve, receive, defense, etc. So hopefully we look quite a bit different offensively this weekend. If nothing else, the biggest concept we've worked on offensively is just to be aggressive. I think we did that at times this past weekend, but I'm really hoping at Monument that's the way we play. So kind of other things that we've been working on and some goals that we have is that we really hope this weekend that we can learn how to attack essentially a 3-day tournament. This is the first of several that we're going to be playing 3 days together, staying in a hotel together, waking up early for morning wave, working with different officials and dealing with kind of that competitive environment where there's, anywhere from 100 to 200 courts going at the same time, kind of learning what that feels like. So that's going to be a big emphasis for this weekend is kind of learning how to attack that and attack it as a team. That way when we come to, our qualifiers, it's very normal for us. Learning what it means to finish first in your pool, second in your pool, etc. All those are just opportunities to learn. I spoke to you guys about learning and the process of learning and the never-ending process of learning at our last parent meeting, and the same is going to hold true here. We're just going to be learning things in an even more competitive environment, and I think that's really good. I think when you put people under pressure, they surprise you, and we did a few drills this week that really put some pressure on kids to perform, and the result was unbelievable, and it wasn't perfect, but that's a good thing. That just showed us we really have a lot of room to grow, and that's exciting to see as a coach. So this weekend we want to continue with that process, that learning process, and watching the kids evolve this weekend. Something I could have said a little bit better in our last meeting is talking about why the score isn't as important for us and why we focus on process. We talked to the kids about this a little bit this week, but that the score doesn't necessarily reflect your performance. You could be playing the best match of your life and you might be tied at 20-20 or losing by 2 points in a set. You also could be playing some of the worst volleyball that you've played all year and you could be winning. It just depends on the opponent and the situation. So what we're going to push for this weekend with the kids is just focusing on the moment, doing the best that you can play, and hopefully after 3 days of competing in that context, they'll know what it means to just have the mindset of, I'm going to do my best in this match, or this day, or this point, this ball, when I sub in, I'm going to have the best 3 rotations that I've had. Hopefully you'll be able to see kind of that mindset change. And generally when there's a mindset change, there's a performance change. It's not always immediate, it's not always fast, but hopefully it'll be there too. One more kind of side note for this weekend, I think I mentioned it to a few other parents, we will be collecting the girls' cell phones at night. So if you guys need to communicate with them, we'll give them your room numbers. You can always contact me, and we can make sure we get in contact with you guys if necessary. We're gonna just kind of take that temptation away to stay up on the phones, and more importantly, I think when you take devices out of the mix, the girls tend to interact with each other more, and that's going to be a huge part of our weekend, doing team building activities, mixing with other 15s and other teams. I'm really excited about it. I think the kids are excited for that experience, and so we want them to really just dive in 100% and not be distracted by anything else, in the outside world. We just totally want to be focused in on this experience. So if there's any problems or questions about that, please don't hesitate to call me before this weekend. That would be great. I think that's about it for this weekend. If you guys have any other questions, please just give me a call. I'll be available most of the weekend, and like I might have mentioned earlier, I might try to find a time this weekend to meet with you all face to face. So hopefully we can make that happen, maybe day 1 or day 2, depending on how things go. But really look forward to just having your support this weekend. Really sit back, just relax as much as you can and enjoy this experience. Remember, it's got to be enjoying for the ride. We push that with the kids, and I think the parents can do that too. Enjoy, cheer, encourage, and let's celebrate. There's going to be a lot to celebrate this weekend. And I don't just mean success on the court, but just the growing process of this team. So that's about it from me. I look forward to seeing you all this weekend. Thank you.